Hi, my name is Ashley Middleton, and for a while I feel like God has been leading me to be more open and kind of just share my testimony. And I wanted to do this video tonight, so I would actually do it. And I will definitely do a kind of like about me video or my testimony soon, but this is my first video. I'm starting my vlog because I feel like it's what God wants me to do. So, first time, please be patient and kind with me. And what I felt like God was leading me to make a video about is a picture I saw on the Bible app. I'm sure any of you guys who have ever used the Bible app um, know that, like in the feed, it posts a picture with a verse on it. And the verse that I will be talking about tonight is Luke 1:37. And the verse of the day was from January 16th. It says, "For with God nothing shall be possible," Luke 1:37. And I went through and did the little compare thing on the Bible app so I could read about it in different versions of the Bible. I like to do that so I get a better understanding of what it's really trying to get across, what the Bible is really trying to get across. Okay, the message here translation says, "Nothing you see is impossible with God." The New International Version says, "For no word from God will ever fail." The New Living Translation says, "For the word of God will never fail." King James says, "For with God nothing shall be impossible." And I typically use the NIV version because I'm involved in Celebrate Recovery, and my Celebrate Recovery Bible that I've had since 2012, well, it's not the same one, but that I've been using the CR Bible, and it's NIV, I do believe. And out of all of those, my favorite was King James Version, which really surprised me because typically I do not read the KJV. But I just wanted to say that honestly, with God, nothing is impossible. The stuff I've been through in my life, like I'm only 28 years old, but I've kind of been through a lot. For you guys who don't know me, I am a recovering addict. I abused pain medication for almost 10 years. I went to rehab in 2012, a 6-month inpatient program, but before that I did a 37-day inpatient program, and it just wasn't long enough, and I relapsed after a month I had been home, so I ended up going to the 6-month program. Changed my life. And both of them were Christian facilities, and I did not get saved till I was 22, about 2 months before I went to the first rehab program. And I honestly feel like I did get saved on that day in May or April, but I was still using drugs. So I got saved, but I wasn't, living my life day to day with the Lord. Anyways, I'll go more into detail about that in a later date. But also, that was, a major thing in my life that I've been through. And in 2014, right after my 25th birthday, I started getting sick. I was really sick, didn't know what was going on. Probably for about 2 or 3 months, I went to doctor after doctor, a couple different ERs, and they were just like, oh, like they really didn't give me a clear answer on what was going on, but like I knew something was wrong. Like my family's always said that I'm a hypochondriac just because I always complained about health stuff, even when I was a teenager. And, most teenagers don't, I don't know, I guess until you have a chronic illness or someone has a chronic illness, you don't really understand what it's like. But I always kind of knew something was wrong with my body. I knew it wasn't normal, but I didn't get extremely sick until I was 25. So, after a few months, I had to put my glasses back on, sorry. After a few months, I finally was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which is a form of inflammatory bowel disease, and it is considered a autoimmune disease, which I didn't really know anything about autoimmune disease. I was kind of familiar with inflammatory bowel disease. I'm just going to call it IBD because one of my great aunts has Crohn's disease and has had it for quite a while. I would say probably anywhere from 20 to 10 years, but she takes Remicade, which is a um, anti-TNF drug, I believe, which kind of lowers your immune system so it stops attacking yourself. And that Remicade helped her so much, and she's had problems with it with her IBD, but it never really got to the point where it was affecting her day-to-day life where she couldn't, do stuff. Anyways, I was diagnosed with IBD. I was able to work for I think around a year, and I got really sick, was in and out of the hospital for 3 months, had to have my colon removed, had my ileostomy, I think, for 14 months to 16 months, I'm not for sure. Anyways, and then I had to have 2 more major surgeries to form my J pouch and then to connect my J pouch. Anyways, I've had those done, and since being diagnosed with IBD, I've been diagnosed with a couple other diseases, a few autoimmune diseases. I have, let's see if I can think of everything. Chronic pancreatitis. They in the beginning they weren't for sure if it was autoimmune pancreatitis or chronic. Anyways, any type of pancreatitis sucks. It's very, very painful. I have endometriosis. I have thyroid problems. When I was around 19 years old, I had to have a radiation, I think it's called a radiation ablation treatment, which basically killed my thyroid because it was so overactive and I was allergic to the medicine that they treated it with. It killed my thyroid. So that was kind of a crazy experience. I'll explain that more some other time. And I was on, then after a month or so, I was put on medicine for underactive thyroid. Okay, I said pancreatitis, IBD, thyroid problems, endometriosis, and now from being on prednisone for 2.5 years, I have adrenal insufficiency, which basically means I will be on prednisone the rest of my life, which a small dose, which I'm okay with, but prednisone is a double-edged sword. Before I had my colon removed, it was the only thing that would semi kind of make my life bearable. I was still having a flare, but the prednisone made it better, and I was on 40 milligrams a day for, a very extended amount of time. So that all happened. That was, a huge thing in my life. And also, I got sick right whenever I had turned 25. Me and my husband Brian were engaged. We had bought a house. That happened in July of 14, and we got married in October of 14. So imagine trying to plan a wedding. You just bought a house. You get sick with this disease, which I was still working full time, and I kind of knew, I researched my disease, but I didn't know a lot about it. I didn't know how serious it could get. I didn't know that one day it would cause me to stop working full time. I had to stop working full time in May of 2015, and it is currently February of 2017. So almost 2 years. You know, newlyweds planning a wedding. We haven't been married a year. I get sick, can't work. thankfully, God has blessed me with an amazing, amazing man. Like, literally, he is taking care of me. Like, he's amazing. Anyone who knows him knows. I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. I just love my husband, and I wouldn't have gotten through all of this without him. So, anyways, back to the Bible verse. Luke 1:37. Nothing you see is impossible with God. That was the Message translation. King James Version, which was my favorite, is for with God nothing shall be impossible. Nothing is impossible with God. It says in the Bible somewhere, I'm not for sure, ask and you shall receive. And, our plans are a lot different than God's, and we never think, like we think, oh, this, and this is what I want, this is what's going to happen. And, when you make plans, God laughs because it's His plan. And you just have to try and be patient and remember that His plan is always going to be better. God, is the creator of literally everything in existence. So, of course, his plan is going to be better than mine, some 28-year-old girl from Kentucky who's lived in the country most of her life, And I do have, I have my high school degree. Okay, so I was finishing up the video and something popped up, so I put my tablet on airplane mode. Anyways, I do have my high school, I graduated from high school, and I'm like one class away from my associate's degree. But anyways, what I'm saying is, I'm just a normal, everyday person. So, of course, God's plan is going to be better than mine. Even though, like, my life I've had some really, really hard things that have happened. I still feel like I have an amazing life, and God has blessed me and Brian, like, just like, overflowing blessings. I'm a little goofy sometimes. Anyways, this video ended up being a lot longer than I wanted it to be because it's my first video and everything, but please be patient and kind with me, and I appreciate all your prayers and thoughts. If there's anything you can relate to in what I said in this video, please, leave me a comment or send me a private message or something. Anyways, this is something I'm really going to work hard on, and just thank you so much for watching till the end, and I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and just remember, God's plan is always better, even during the hard times and suffering. Life is hills and valleys, good times, bad times. You're going to have hard times, then you're going to have times when you're thriving, and just, blessings are abundant. And it's up to you to try and choose joy and not let your emotions control everything that you're feeling. Because when you choose joy, you choose to be happy during the hard times. And I'm a very new Christian. I feel like, I said I only got saved when I was 22, so I'm 28 now. So, like, I've got so much learning to do, and I would just appreciate any input that you guys have for me, and just thanks so much for listening. And I do want to say one other thing before I go. With me having chronic illnesses, I found a lot of amazing people on social media, videos, posts, and I just want to say thank you guys for all of that. It really has inspired me. And the one that has really touched my soul is Still Waters Vlog, and I'm pretty sure her name's Mallory. And how I found out about her is my sister Jacqueline is in dental hygiene school in Bowling Green, and her roommate Andrea is Mallory's sister-in-law. I believe I got that correctly. Anyways, she has some chronic illnesses going on, and she's been through it. I mean, she's been through it, and she has Still Waters Vlog and is a Christian, and it's just amazing. So check it out, and thanks so much, Mallory, for your blog. All right, God bless. Blessed be your glorious name.